Welcome everyone to the Saturday's Radio Room, which is happening on Sunday for some reason, because I was sort of busy yesterday and I wasn't actually ready to make it on air, but we are live here and we are live now. So I am welcoming you once more. I am glad that every one of you had came here and that you are watching this podcast, I would say. And I think we should be starting very soon. Since, it's time already. It's just time. So I haven't got any much questions on my channel poll, because I actually posted one which you could have asked any question you wanted, but I actually got only one question: what happened to all my widths, why they are removed, why they are on gone. And yeah, I won't get an answer on this. So could anyone confirm that you could hear me loud and clear, please, in the chat? Or escaping Mark 2? Well, that's a question to the MSA, not to me. Sorry, mate. I actually don't know why they don't release new Ikari Warriors. There is no second clock. There is no second Hader from their KOF games with new sprites, which is actually surprising to me, because, come on, they are the Ikari Warriors are the main characters in the game, because they appeared in the 6th game, they appeared in the 7th game, so making that low amount of units with them, except the reskins with Slugnoids or Slugs in particular, I don't really count them. So, just actually, give me a minute, please. Actually, it's funny that my restream chat doesn't work, so I guess I would need to read chat directly from the YouTube. And no, I do not speak Spanish. I do not really even understand Spanish. English, Czech, Russian, Ukrainian, even German sorta, but I don't really speak German. I'm really bad at it. You could try, but Spanish, excuse me, mate, but no. That's way too bad for you, I guess. But if you want, you could actually try to type your question and I might translate it with Google Translate, but A, I won't be able to answer it back in Spanish, and B, I doubt that I would have time to type it properly, and I guess if I will Google Translate it back, it will take a lot of time, it won't have a lot of mistakes, of course, so I don't think it's a good idea at all. So if you're not okay with this, I suggest that you could leave right now, because you won't be able to understand a thing Unless there is some Spanish guys in the chat that could speak English and they would be able to help you with this by basically translating the stuff I'm answering to you. But I doubt that will happen. Anyway, we still have 4 minutes before the stream would be officially started. So, any more quick questions which I could answer? Any advice for the costume? You should actually check for the NBA helmets. Because the funny thing, we were discussing it a lot with Abliso and with a lot of people of the Metal Slug community, and we concluded that Metal Slug is actually not a parody to the Second World War, but actually to the Cold War. Long sort of the World too, but more to the Cold War, so you should look for the NBA uniform of the Eastern German. I don't think that it should be costly, because there was a lot of their equipment, a lot of their clothes, helmets, badges, etc., on the sale. So if you Google it, I think it will be really easy to find it, even still 30 years after the Deutschland Demokratien Republik fall. I mean, go for it. Also, yeah, you should have a badge with an X in a red circle, of course. And if you want to use a weapon, find a replica of Mosin Nagant or the Kar 98. Like those owned bolt action rifles, because we couldn't figure out which it was actually, but both of them will actually work in this case. Also, as for a weaponry, find some, replicas of hand grenades. Actually, replicas of Soviet or German hand grenades, but not the Wehrmacht ones. With, those pipe grenades, like the regular army is using in the Metal Slug, but the actual, like, it's called a pineapple in American slang, in Russian it's called a lemon, actually, which is actually, I find funny, like, such a difference, but it shouldn't be a problem. And hello to you, Lord Grammar Vet. Okay. Any more quick questions before I will be actually starting? Anything I could answer for you? Oh, actually, I just realized that there is actually keep in mind that there actually a pause in the translation, like 20 or 30 seconds. Because at the place where I am living now, it's not really fancy in terms of internet, because I'm living at the outskirts of the city now, and internet is fairly slow here. So I had to put some bufferization, so my internet would be able to stream it without major lags, without, frame drops, lags, etc., because when I was testing it with when I just roamed in this house, and when I was testing internet, it was so bad that I was not able to stream anything. I had like 30 to 40 frame rate drops, or even worse, which is not okay, as you could actually understand, I guess. I mean, even now, even with the fact that I'm not actually streaming any visual content, that is just a sound, there are actually frame drops up to 5%. It's not critical, but it's not good. I mean, it's acceptable, but not that well. So keep that in mind. Anyway, no one is going to ask me anything else while we are still on. before I am actually starting the podcast. Now, anyone? I'm giving you a minute, and then we will be starting. I should probably type it out because it would reach you much faster. But I guess we need to move to the action thing. Well, why most of you are actually here. The thing which is bothering you the most right now. Where are all of my videos? Why are they gone? Why are they unlisted and most unacceptable for most of you? And why I'm not making anything else? Well, the first and major reason why I'm actually removed all of my videos from the channel is because I am not happy with the job I was doing in general. See, I'm playing Metal Slug Attack since the closed beta test, which was since January 2016. So if you think about that, that's actually crazy. That's more than 3 years and a half. I think my account, which I'm using in Metal Slug Attack, has like 1030 plus days of logins. That's with the fact that I actually lost my beta account, which had like a month or even 2 months of playing, which was a long time, and the fact that I lost my current account for like 5 or 6 times, with more than up to 2 weeks of time, I guess. Plus, keep in mind those extra maintenance, etc., etc. So, I'm just not happy with the game anymore. I mean, it's sort of fun Steam, but the current meta is so annoying. It's so fast, it's so brain dead. It's so dumb to actually play this game in most cases. Yeah, and you know, I'm actually pissed that most of the veteran players are not rewarded or even actually sandbagged by the developers unless they pay a lot of money, and even then they don't get anything worthy. I mean, just look at the most veterans, especially free-to-play ones or those who are only paid for monthly cards like me. They can't actually keep up with the new pingus, with those players who just dropping like $300 for every week, for every event. Well, for most of the events with those OP units, while most of the free players are struggling with everyday farm, everyday grinds even, and with those trashy bosses and actually OP rare units which are easy to get, easy to access for all kind of units, all kind of players. I mean, it's just, you know, that balance between free players and paid players is so terrible that it doesn't belong to your skill anymore. You just need to pay a lot or you need to be lucky, which is terrible. It kills all the joy of, you know, strategical grind. That you could, you know, collect all of the items you want and then you need. Or really desire. Because you could get fucked up like I did with Shizuka, for example. I had to empty the box to get her silver. Like in the lowest frame. It's insane to even think about it. Also, the fact which actually pisses me off about the game is, well, how the factions are not actually favored by the game. You are favored more for going mixed or fake faction, because with all of those upgrades to the units, with all of those items which were provided by the task force, you know, all of the stun resists, silence resist, HP buff, damage buff. I guess we will get very soon IP action points reducing for the owned units, so I guess, you know, bosses like Union or owned Kraken will actually be rocking again, because they won't cost as much as they are now. But even with all of those items, you don't get paid well if you are using only one faction, because this bonus is still very small. I mean, those 10% extra 10% of HP, they don't matter anything, because if you run like fake faction, so you didn't get that 10%, but you could put like units like Growl or anything, and you will get much higher firepower for this. You won't get higher amount of wins if you go fake faction or mixed. So this is actually annoying. Well, back to the question. Well, my main question, why I removed on the bits. I am not glad with on the, I mean, how to start this? Well, I guess you know that I was not making any good videos like, you know, deck widths or music widths like I did with Rock Me Amadeus, which all of you must know, I guess. I am just not glad with them anymore. I don't have any fun with doing them, because at the end of the day you are wasting so much time for extensive editing, because I actually tried to, when I last my video with advanced editing, I actually wasted a lot of time in learning some basic tricks, how my editing software works, how I could put some things to make the video better, and in the end of the day you get nothing. No one cares about them if you're late. You just need to throw the stuff around, unedited. You could even throw unedited stuff, which is boring and lame and uninspired, and you could actually be succeeded on that. But if you waste like 5 to 6 hours for a week or even more, because like my last tweet actually took me 3 days to make, and intense days I would say, and I got nothing. Not in views, not in payment, not in nothing. I just got an inspiration. And for the deck videos, you need to pay a lot of money to do them, or you need some to hook up the account from your friend, which actually pays for the game, like Banden does. And even then, if you have some high standards, you are so limited to certain things. And I just decided, you know what, fuck it. It doesn't belong to the game, in my opinion. It doesn't need it anymore to anyone. I mean, I just did the community service by removing the videos which are not needed anymore. They are not... how to say it right? They are not required anymore by anyone, because this game, I mean, all of my main idea for my channel was that I was helping new players to see that you don't need actually to be brain dead to be good at this game. You could actually be creative, you could actually put some skill, and you could do some great stuff. But this is no need anymore. You just go mixed, you just spam the hell out of your attack button and you're good, you're winning. So why to keep all of my own legacy, which is going completely opposite against the main idea of the game right now? Why should I do this? Like, come on. And ich sprechen Sie Deutsch? No one. Do you understand this? As I said, my German is actually terrible. Like, come on. It's just so bad. So, I guess I answered your question why my channel is gone. Oh, and also one of the reasons, not the major one, but actually which forced me to, I was actually forced to live in the hostels for the long September, I was looking for a house, and you know, when you're constantly traveling, when you are staying at the place with a terrible internet and without a solid roof above your head, it's you know, you don't have any, you know, when you're struggling, you just don't have any motivation to do anything. And you know, with the fact that I don't really care about my channel and I thought that it's needed to be killed, I just thought that it's a perfect opportunity that I actually kill it, and I wasn't have any time to actually care about anyone's reaction about it. So yeah, I mean, right now I'm actually finally found at the place where I am actually able to stay here, that I am actually able to, you know, lay down on my own bed and rest as much as I want without being forced to move around, without any, you know, neighbors in the room, especially when, you know, when it's like 8 to 12 people in one room, actually doing something, moving around, you know, carrying their stuff, etc, etc. It's just annoying to do anything. But right now, at least I'm out here, and I could do whatever I want. Continue not caring about my channel. Would I restore my videos? Maybe. Maybe I would restore some, which most of you people actually wanted me to restore, but that's so low amount from them. I mean, I have like 300 videos on the channel, around this number, and I think I would restore up to 30 at the best case. I think I would certainly restore Rock Me Amadeus. I might restore some memes, I might restore some tech videos, but not all of them. Will I come back to making MSA videos? Maybe, because I have a couple of ideas. And I'm not sure that I actually will have time or resources for them before the game dies, because, you know, game is stagnating right now, and I'm not sure that anyone would need this kind of a weed, and that anyone would help me with making them, but I think I will make a couple more. I will see for that. I will not promise anything at this point. What will happen with my channel? I don't know right now. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I will do podcasts right now, which would be happening at Saturdays at around this time. So if you will be free at this time, you're welcome to actually tune up and speak to me, because it's actually nice to have some nice conversation, you know. And actually, I think that at next podcast, I would actually set up a server, or will put a certain channel on the server that actually exists, like at Obvi or at public place, which will be dedicated to talking. So I will just leave a link, you will hop in, and then we could talk with you online on different topics. No matter which it is. It could be some politics, some gaming news, Metal Slug, etc, etc. Because that's talk which we had at RMSA Discord 2 weeks ago, I think. With Banden, with Meme Modern, with a lot of other people. That was actually fine. That was actually fun, I would say, because, you know, we discussed a lot of topics, a lot of ideas, and this actually might work. Alright, I guess I answered on this question finally. Well, except one, which won't happen to the channel. Actually, I'm thinking about streaming some games I actually like. I mean, yeah, I know that my channel will be done at this point, but I don't see any point to keep it up like a zombie one. I mean, it's that already. I don't think I would be able to resurrect. At least anytime soon, unless I change my channel completely and will do something else. I mean, I am actually thinking about doing videos about other games, like Conqueror's Blade, because I actually find this game really, really funny. medieval fights with a lot of other players, with a lot of units on the map, where skill actually matters a lot. Along with units, of course, but skill is actually paying off with the cooperation. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just not really sure what I will be doing so far. And hello, Karon. I thought that you was actually dead after you was killed for killing Leaks. Yeah. So, once I've covered this, actually I am not happy with World of Tanks right now. Plus my internet is so bad that I can't actually play World of Tanks. Just see, no one. Problem is that for what you need some basic internet. Like, you could actually play World of Tanks with a mobile internet and not even 3G. You could play it with Edge. And it will be working fine. But if you're playing with a Wi-Fi and if this Wi-Fi is unstable, you will have so much trouble to play it that it's basically unenjoyable. I mean, I was trying to play it a couple of days ago and it was so unstable that I barely was able to play for an hour, and I just rage quitted and I wasn't touching it anytime soon. So if I want to play World of Tanks, I guess I would need to get some stable internet. So I would need to buy a cable and to get it from the router, which stays in another, like on the other side of the building, of the quarter I'm living in. So I would need like 20 meters, I think, which is not cheap. And I would need to put it, on the walls. It will take some time, it will take some money, and I'm not up for this right now. Commit, Rip, and Tier, actually, I have it in plans. But before going for it, I actually want to play Kong of Juarez. All the 3 games, except the Cartel. Nobody speaks about the Cartel. And if you don't know what Kong of Juarez is, it's a game about one West. All those cowboy stuff. And actually, all of those games, except Cartel again, because it's about the modern times, are actually really cool. And if you want to give me a reason to play it, I am waiting. Well, you know that Red Dead Redemption 2 is announced for PC. So I guess I would play it when earlier 2 will be released. About Doom, I actually owned, finally. And I would actually play it once the... Well, I will play it soon. Because... Doom Eternal was postponed. And I need to warm up myself before the action sequel will be released. But I won't play this. Actually, in my plans, Saints Row 2 remastered, because as you know, Saints Row 2 actually has the worst PC port on the how it's right to say in English, of the on times. I mean, it's so bad that it's not running in 60 FPS even on the modern computers. Even if you have 2080 RTX, it will be still lagging. It's so poorly ported. But finally, a week ago, Volition actually announced that they managed to recover the original source code for the Saints Row 2, and that now a couple of their team is actually making the remaster version. And I think it will be up with the Saints Row 5 around that time. So when they will be released, I will buy Saints Row 5, I will save money for it, because Saints Row is actually a really cool game, all of them. And, if it will have co-op, I would need to find someone else, and playing it in co-op, because playing any Saints Row game in cooperation with any other person is actually making the game even more doubling the fun, because all of those random interactions are just insane. Where's Mankan Kenkuchi? How's the JC Denton actually says? I don't understand. Actually, talking about Deus Ex, I might actually play this either, but except the first game, I think, because first game is done on the basic Quake engine, if I recall right, and actually OBS is not able to see this game, so I would need to read the guides of how to stream games like Unreal Tournament and Deus Ex, because I actually tried to. But you know, all of the Deus Ex games except the Invisible War, they're actually cool. And there's a lot of stuff to do and a lot of ways how to do. So, you know, you could, if you play those games with some cooperation with the streams, you know, like getting advices of how to play some routes, this might be actually fun. Especially when you kind of forgot how the game's played and you're getting into some interesting situations when you are pinned down and you need to act quickly, but you're panicking and you're doing some dumb stuff, which causes even more, fun, explosions, action, etc., etc. There's so much stuff to do actually in the next days and weeks. So yeah, be tuned for it. I will actually announce it, Anyway, any more questions you got for me, guys? Because that's why we almost waiting here for me answering your questions. Just please don't ask me to talk in Russian, simply because I don't like to talk in Russian to anyone who don't understand it. I think it's really rude, I think it's unpolite, and I don't see any point in this, simply because, you don't really understand what am I talking about. No. This is a shitty meme. Come on, man. And I know you're better than this. Actually, you could someone from the RMSA actually repost the link to the... Could someone post the link to RMSA Discord so we won't get more people, please? How to set up a good PC? Well, to set up a good PC you need just to learn some basic specifications, which the CPU, what it does, and which modems are good, which are not. About RAM, it's actually the more the better, and the newer the better, so you just go with any DDR4, and I think you will be fine if you get 60 gigabytes of RAM. You could go for 32, but that's an overkill, honestly. About video cards, they're changing quite fast, but then again, the more we run, the best. And the newer modem, the best. So, you just need to learn their specifications. They're actually not easy. Not hard. Excuse me, not hard. And no one about Europe creating Russians, it's different, Simply because I'm living in Czechia, and actually it's so divided on this opinion, because a lot of people, especially old people who remember the Czechoslovakia, who remember the Soviet Union and all of those times, and all of the stuff that was actually happening here, most of them, of course, not everyone, but most of them are actually more respectful to Russians, more friendly to Russians, and most of them actually speaks Russian. I mean, I was at the Marienbad, you remember I posted several tweets from there, and when you're going through the city, you just understand that most of the people that are living here are speaking Russian, German, and Czech at the same time, because it was part of Russia, well, part of the Russia bloc, so they learned Russian at school, and most of them actually speaking it fluently. And Marienbad was a German town for a long time, for a couple of centuries, and it was part of the Sudety. And you know that Sudets part of the Czechia actually got taken by the Germans in 1938. Well, depends of the language you are native. In Russian it's Czechia. In Czech it's usually Czech Republic or Czechia or just Czech. And in English is Czech Republic too. Well, about Hong Kong, I mean, PewDiePie did the edgy stuff like he usually does. So, actually think that Hong Kong protesters are idiots, but the China government are even more idiotic. I mean, they just overkilling the stuff. They don't understand the nature, and they are trying to solve all of their problems by silencing everyone, but that doesn't work anymore. That's the problem. And China police, it's actually so incompetent that they're actually fueling up the riots. I mean, just look at the Russia and how they are dealing with any kind of such stuff. They are not idiots, unlike China, unfortunately. And unfortunately for Hong Kong citizens, they are between hell and another hell. So I feel really sorry about them. So, actually France is kinda dead right now, because, you know, those Yellow Jackets actually kinda gave up. But at least Yellow Jackets were fighting not for their... You know, unlike Hong Kong, Yellow Jackets actually had their own reasoning. I mean, Hong Kongs are actually fighting for everything good against everything bad, without any certain points. That's why they are going to lose, even though they will actually win and get independence, because they won't be able to do anything with this independence. And Yellow Jackets were actually fighting against the really unpopular measures taken by the government to, you know, to soften the impact on themselves for their own mistakes. That's the problem. That government is actually forcing people to pay for the mistakes which people haven't done. Well, Western Europe is fucked up actually right now. I mean, just look at the Spain and the Catalonia, look at the France, look at the United Kingdom. I don't think I would be able to get to the China anyway, so I'm okay. Plus, I don't think that I have any Chinese watchers, except probably Titanium, but even then it's not good. And back to the idea about talking about Europe and how Europe is treating them. Actually, you're kind of wrong, no one, about how Europeans treated Russians, because, you know, I was talking about people in most of the parts, and I mean, just look at the Germany. I mean, you're living at Germany, no one. And you know that eastern part, which was DDR, is actually really friendly to the Russians, unlike the western part. Same goes to Czechia and Slovakia, same goes to the Serbia and couple of those Yugoslavian countries, but actually not anymore because of all of those Balkanian wars. I mean, they're not friendly to anyone, and Poland is aggressive to everyone. I mean, Poland is Poland. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you know, when you're starting to learn the history of Poland, you just realize that everyone hates Poland and that Poland hates everyone. I'm not joking here, so... you want to forgive me too? Oh man, we could actually have this. I'm actually so uncertain about tomorrow's day that I don't know what to say, because we could actually get the World War 3. Because everything is going... But we actually will get a sequel not to World War 2, but to World War 1, because history actually repeats itself. And we are actually at the positions of, 1910, I guess, like in the positions which actually led to the Great War, to the World War First, which was a massacre, as you know. And World War II is actually, in my opinion, is just a continuation of this war, because most of the conflicts from the First World War were not solved. I mean, when the war ended, Great War, I mean, Ferdinand Foch, the leader of the French armies, actually said this piece, which they put, that Versailles Pact, actually was not a peace, but just a 20-year breathing room for all countries to regroup. And yeah, sorry for chat being so slow, because I actually had to put some bufferization, so it won't be lagging as bad as it could have been, because my internet is so trash right now, so sorry for that. Well, back to the topic again. Actually, I don't think that everyone are, being aggressive to Russians, even at the Western Europe. I mean, politics are politics, of course. They are just trying to achieve their own points, and putting Russia as their arch-enemy is a good strategy in their eyes. But, common people does not give a damn about politics in the most cases. Especially if they see Russians actually being the same as them, having the same trouble, traveling at the same places as them, acting pretty much as the same as them, so they don't even see the difference. I mean, you could just go to Czech Republic, to the Prague, and if you get to the center of the city, unless you know how Russian looks and how they speak, you won't be able to see the difference between them and locals in the most cases. When did I first started YouTube? Actually, I started YouTube in 2014, I think. Yeah, it was 2014. And I was playing different game. I was playing actually checkmate shooter, Shadowgun Dead Zone, and I was in the one of the top clans at the time when the game was actually alive. It was SSSR clan, full of Russians and people from the ex-Soviet republics, and we were actually really good. We were hated, of course. And sometimes I was putting videos here with the gameplay. I mean, they were just raw, unedited parts of the gameplay, sometimes, well, most of the times even without commentaries, but, you know, that they were just gameplay videos. That was okay in my opinion back in time. It was okay actually, 2013, you know, Let's Plays were actually popular. Oh, and Banden is here as well. Hello there, Banden. And you're actually late, but I would answer again. I think I would be shifting to streaming, shifting to podcasts, and I think I would be actually doing some videos about other games. Maybe I will do a couple more videos about Modern Slack Attack, but I have no interest because game is actually... It's just not fun to do anything about this game for me. You know? And I might shift to Conquer Resonate because this game is at the open beta right now, and this open beta will be really long, so I might help a lot of people. Might help a lot of people to help with this, you know? And maybe I will be doing videos about World of Tanks, but I doubt that, simply because A, I don't have any good internet right now, and B, I'm taking a break from the World of Tanks. And I think I will take this break right up to the Halloween. I will play the event, and then, unless there will be any other event with the British tank, I will take the pause right to the New Year, because at the New Year there will be actually a new event, and I think I will be ready for it. You know. So let me just check the chats once again. Maybe I actually. Oh yeah, about Salman suddenly conscripted to the army without a notice. This is the reason why I'm actually in the Czech Republic, because as you know there is a civil war going in the Ukraine, at my home country, and you know that it's not actually called a civil war by our government, but the trick is that they're actually enlisting people. And thanks to my ex-president, which is really despised and hated by everyone, and to his fucking dumb laws, if you are a foreign student and if you come back to the country, you might get enlisted despite you're a foreign student. How's that for ya? Well, I don't actually play that much of the Team Fortress 2 anymore then. I'm just playing it on the occasions, and I'm not really interested to play it right now. I just don't have any motivation or any good internet, because you need a good internet to play it. Like any other first-person shooter, you know. Actually, it's really a shame that I can get back to home because I'm stuck in this country for 5 years already. Last time I was at home was February 2015. Just think about it, how long I'm actually staying here. And I came back to my home country actually for like 2-3 days just to get a passport. Just to get an ID, foreign ID, you know? Actually, I answered on this question, Raffian Roulette, where my videos went. I'm not interested in MSA, I'm not happy with my own tweets, I am not happy with producing tweets. So, you know, considering all of the stuff which is happening, I just decided to put them down for now, unless I figure out what I should do with them. Maybe they will come back. Some of them maybe will come back, but not all of them, because I'm unhappy with most of my ways. Like, goddamn, it's so fucking cringe to look at most of my tweets at the current time. You know, and the main reason why I stopped them simply because I'm not the spirit to do them when the game actually is complete opposite of the idea of my videos. My main idea was to show all of the players that you could have fun without going for meta, with just using your skills, your brain, occasionally your fingers, to learn the game mechanics, to learn how the game actually works from inside. But, just look at the game today. Just look how the game is actually terrible. And yeah, I wish you like band, and actually you will have fun, I think. Because honestly, university life, especially when you're just beginning it, is actually fun. So enjoy it while it lasts. Why I don't give a taste for the new Modern Warfare? First, I say it again, I have a terrible internet. B, I wasn't playing Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2. I was playing mostly first original Modern Warfare. And to, when I'm looking at some stuff, I am actually not happy and cautious about some plot twists which Activision will do. And I don't want to pay for catching back, which I don't know which will be. I mean, last good Modern Warfare was actually Modern Warfare 1 simply because it was, in terms of single player mode. Simply because it wasn't just, ooh, Russians bad, ooh, terrorists, ooh. I mean, just if you play first Modern Warfare, you will see that Russian is actually like in sort of civil war, and there are good Russians and bad Russians. But Modern Warfare 2, all of the Russians are bad, kill all of the Russians. Modern Warfare 3, kill all of the Russians. Black Ops, kill all of the Russians again. I'm not even talking about loot boxes here, man. I'm just talking about the campaign. And boxes and loot boxes, I'm only 22, but I'm so on for this shit because, I started to play games like Armed, Most Classic, Most Wanted, Classic Carbon, Flatout 2, Around Totem War, all of those games without gacha and without DLCs, which had expansions, but those expansions were basically like the new game. I actually wanted to play Hoi, but not anytime soon. And Civilization, I think I would, from everything I heard actually about Civilization, I think I would need to play it in co-op, How many times have you suffered outside? Well, when I was a kid, a lot of times. Actually, I got so many light kind of traumas when I was a kid by my own dumbness. I mean, I fell on a brick when I was running. I just, flipped over and just fell at full speed. I got smashed by... Oh, God damn it. I got my head 2 times bleeding in my own life. Like, I just got hit by heavy objects at my head, so with that strength, beating sometimes, typical childhood when you're fighting with your friends, when you're accidentally getting hit by, when you're playing football, when you're just tripping over something. I almost got hit by a car twice, and one time it was almost lethal. I just realized that something was wrong, and I stopped, and a car also just went right in front of me at a high speed. It just was terrible, man. But right now, actually, I don't think I got any serious injury once I finished high school. So yeah. That one moment that I actually got under the car, it just was, I was crossing the road, actually at the place, like, you know, I was doing everything, following the rules, and first guy actually stopped. So I just saw that, well, from one side, guy was letting me pass. From other side, some cars were actually slowing down because they saw that I was starting to go. And some guy, he just saw that guy actually slowed down in front of him. He just went on full throttle and passed him. Without seeing me even. I think he didn't care. Like, maybe he was drunk, maybe he was in a rush, I don't know. But damn, that was so close that I actually got scared. Yeah, funny chunk it actually. So, any more questions? Because if there won't be no questions for now. Now, you know what? You know what? Actually, type your questions in the chat while I am putting this podcasts on pause, and while you will be listening to some very, very cool music. So, you know, let me just take a break. I just need to breathe for Iron CPC. Oh, that wasn't even a person, that was just myself. I just tripped over and, you know, I was living at the big house, and sometimes we were decorated outside with unused bricks, like to making small fences from those bricks, and actually I tripped over and fell on those bricks. And the second time I actually... goddamn, I actually forgot how this thing is called. Let me check it really quick. Oh yeah. You know those swings? Like those... I don't know, it's not a toy, well, I mean, swing. Or a seesaw, which is actually used by kids to play on them. And actually I got hit by the old Soviet one swing, and it was full metal, and I think it weighed like 20 or more kilos, and it actually punched me on my... damn it. At my back of the head so hard that it actually damaged my skin and I was bleeding. Wasn't it a nice childhood? But anyway, I just need to drink some water because, you know, when you're talking for a long time, it's actually tiresome. And you need to refresh yourself. So I will be right back. And since I don't want you to be any kind of bored, I will put some cool music for you. And while I'm gone, ask your questions, please, in the chat. When I will be back, I will read them all. Be right back. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Motley Crue with their song Dr. Feelgood. And now I am back. So, answering the questions about creating community Steam so we could play together. Actually, we could create a Discord server, or we could just join the existing one. Except RMSA because I am banned here. But actually, hello everyone who just joined. And actually we could play some games. I mean, I would actually like to play Serious Sam with all of you. Because when you're playing Serious Sam in co-op with 8 players and more, this is getting out of hand. This is getting so insane. And we should really try to play it. And I think, we could play not competitive shooter games. As I said, we could play actually Serious Sam. I think, let's check. Maybe we could play Modern Warfare, the old one, from 2007. I think my internet would be able to handle it at least. Not the perfect level, but at least a good one. And felt right. But yeah, no Arma and the likes. Horror games, I actually not a fan of horror games. Heroes in general, maybe, but not. I tried to play it, I haven't liked it really. Horror games, actually I want to play Dead Space. I would need to get it, because I don't actually have a legit copy of Dead Space. I had only pirated one back in the day, because it was literally impossible to buy a legit copy of Dead Space back in time for me. I did not have any solid internet until 2013, and I was living in such a small town that I never ever saw any shops selling legit copies of the game. I saw a couple of stores in the bigger city where was my grandma living and still lives actually, but they were so expensive at the time. Holy shit. Fallout 76 as a horror game. Well, yeah, true. It's so terrible that it's really survival horror to play, because you're trying to survive from the fact how bad this game is, and you're trying to suppress the horror of the game-breaking bugs here, even still. God damn it. That really got me. Okay. Any more questions? Have we watched about horror games? Actually, there was a mode for Fallout 4 named Frost. It's an advanced version of the Dust mode. Me more than knows what I'm talking about. And it's actually typical survival with some horror elements, but more of survival of course. But I think that first Dead Space might cut it perfectly. I just think it's fine. Honestly, games like Amnesia, games like Outlast, I mean, they are scary, but I don't really. I mean, they have all those jump scares, they have all this pressure, all those, gross moments, but it's not really scary, it's gross. It's not scary in the point which I am actually looking. No, and I don't really like Metro series, simply because, you do know that Metro series actually based on the books, right? And if you read the books, you just realize how does actually author of those books actually hate the Soviet Union, and how he actually hates the communists, and when you do understand it, it's just terrible. Silent Hill maybe. I mean, I never played it before, but I might actually play it. Hidrastur, I actually answered this question 2 times already. Like, holy shit. Well, let me answer it for the third time, really quick. A, I'm not happy with the game anymore. B, I was not happy with my videos anymore. C, I had real life troubles, so I was not able to even keep up with my channel at all for months. And 4, I don't really think the reason to keep the videos with the current state of the game. If that answers the question. Maybe I will restore some of those videos, maybe. But I think I will make something different in terms of and Silent Hill actually, I heard that the game actually good because it makes you scary with the suspense, and it actually allows you to fight back. You know, it doesn't feel you completely powerless. It has the ways to actually scare you without making you completely useless. So does Penumbra, if I recall right. Actually, from the horror games, I actually really want to finally play Cryostasis. That is an old Ukrainian game, if I recall right, and this game is actually really cool because it's using actually unique concept. The idea is that you the walker of the Pumap station, and your job is over here. You're working here for like 6 months, and you got an information that there would be a ship waiting for you at a certain place, which will pick you up. But when you arrive at the place, you find this ship actually being dead. And you need to find bodies of people who were the crew of the ship, and you need to see the events which lead to their death, and you need to actually fix their past to fix their future. About fear. Fear is not really scary. Well, I actually have fear. I actually could stream it. I actually want to stream it. And actually fear is a good choice. I mean, it's action horror, so you're a hero. You're so active, you know, it's a basic shooter, but your enemies are actually so cool. I mean, you're cool, but your opponents are smart as well. They're not dumb, so they could actually outsmart you, and they hurt like a truck. So, original fear is actually a good idea. Actually, yeah, damn, that's so many ideas for streaming. Damn. And good night now. See ya someday. I'm scared of a lot of things, but you know, about being scared is actually that you know, sometimes you are scared of things which you don't understand, why actually jump scares working on the most people. I mean, they're working on everyone, because your body does not understand what is actually going on, and it activates one of 2 possible scenarios. You're morphing or you're scared. But you know, when the suspense is actually I could be scared, or I could be put into the, you know, in the position where I'm not feeling comfortable anymore if I'm getting pressured. And pressured not in the regular ways. Like, you know, when you're playing fear, you're actually kind of afraid. I mean, if you don't know what fear is about, if you never played it, you're actually going to be scared. If you are playing Penumbra or cryostasis. I mean, and if you play any horror game without knowing what is going on, you won't be scared. But magic is ruined when you know what will you get. You know? So when you're suggesting me scary games, I basically know what most of them are about, and I won't be scared. I mean, I won't be like PewDiePie in 2013 when he was playing horror games. I won't be screaming and stuff. I would be panicking sometimes, maybe, because, you know, what the hell is going on, what am I supposed to do here, but I won't be scared I won't be scared like I should be, you know? And actually that's why I'm sorta don't want to play Dead Space, because I was watching how my brother was playing it 3 times. I was playing it myself. I saw how Dead Space 2 is working too as well. Like my brother played it, I saw a couple of videos. So I answered on this question so many times today. What about Mutant Slug Attack? Mutant Slug Attack is a dying game. I mean, just look at SNK as a dev actually trying to keep the interest to the game by releasing one of the most interesting events, which should have been in the game from the very beginning, because it's really close to the concept which was in MSD, in Mutant Slug Defense, with rewards, with certain rewards which actually might revive owned units. But those revived units are still trash because they are using old mechanics which are useless against new mechanics, etc, etc. It's just so broken at the current time that it's beyond fixing, honestly. And honestly, this game actually could last a couple of years if the devs would want to. But honestly, I doubt it will last more than 1 year, because the game is in such position that it just can't be going on like this. I mean, just think about it. Grow is still a cancer, but we got so many free to obtain units already, and some box units as well, that makes Grow look really, really bad. I mean, we got a counter to him already, and 2 weeks prior to that, we thought that he's literally immortal. This is how crazy the game is. And there's no stopping to it. I just don't really see any reason to do any content about it, because there is no content. It's just go mixed and go get some wins. Because who cares about factions anymore? I mean, just look how vulnerable the game became to the fake faction mains. In 2016 and 2017, you would be despised if you go fake faction. Everyone would hate you. And, you know, with a lot of people going fake faction, even at that time, it just so large difference between reactions back in time and now, because in 2017 you was hated, and now no one gives a fuck because no one cares about this game anymore. Well, except some people. Well, Mutant Slug 8 actually is going to be released at the next year, if I recall right, and I think it would be an exclusive to PlayStation 4 and their Neo Geo, and I think it would be released in 1 or 2 years more later, I mean, on the PC, like they do with all of their games. Most of their games, at least. I mean, just look at the King of Fighters, which was a pretty much huge success, because KOF 13 was actually a huge success and gave them a lot of money. KOF 14 gave them a lot of money thanks to Steam. and I think they would release Metal Slug 8 to here too. I mean, they released Metal Slug XX as well, so hopes are high. And also greetings to you too, nonetheless. I'm not sure how to pronounce it right, so excuse me if I pronounce it wrong. So, any more questions? What do you mean stop crying on the mistake? I don't really understand your question. Do you mean that I would stop whining about it? If you meant that I would stop whining about it, never. Because I mean, I know that it's pointless, that devs are not listening to anyone outside of jobs, and the Snatch Wars Season 11 actually confirmed that. Because they listened only to the Japanese players, despite we were reporting on those hackers for a long time. But you need to keep crying, you need to keep whining, you need to keep bringing these things up. Because if you need to show that you're not okay with the game. You need to show which aspects of the game are not okay. Because, I mean, if you say that I just don't like MSA, and that MSA, if you keep talking that MSA is a bad game without reasoning, then yeah, it's just pointless crying. But if you point in that they went on the wrong route, that they went wrong at here, and this event could be fixed like this, that you could actually make this game fun if you implement this thing, etc, etc, etc. If you give ideas to the developers, if you give something that could be actually used, then you would actually have some hope for this game. Because actually a lot of things that are present in Metal Slug Attack at this point are actually implemented from the modders and community of the game. Like, it's just crazy sometimes that a lot of ideas, a lot of stuff that actually is going on in the game is actually was created and implemented by the community itself. Like, plenty of units were inspired by the community of the game. Sometimes events of the game are inspired by the community. Task Force is basically was the thing that everyone were asking them for, and we finally got it. See what I mean? This is the difference which we are making. Anyway, any more questions, guys? Because it's not like I could answer something if you don't ask me, you know? Oh, and we got Tita here as well. Good evening, Titanium. But yeah, I could actually agree with you on that statement, and actually the major problem is that this game is not actually friendly to the free-to-play players. You know, that this game, after 4.0 update, actually started to produce so many terrible bosses, because I can't remember any good boss aside of Task Force bosses and Fort. but we got so many rares, OP rares, and we got so many OP crank units that it's just insane. Like, why do you even need to save sorties if you know that most of your units are power creeped even before the How many times have I rage quit? I'm out. I lost count. I lost count even back at 2017 after when I did more than that video. Because it took me 6 hours to record like 20 fights, I think. No, it was 30 fights in 1v1, but it was just think about it. You have a simple deck, and you need to record 30 fights, so you could edit, you could drop something that is actually happened in the game, or something bugged, or lags, or something, and it took you 6 hours. I've lost track of how much times I rage quitted here. Because that was just insane. Actually, when I was making my Tale of the East deck with Jin, Yoshino and Shizuka, I actually was quitting every time, almost every time when I saw anyone who paid for the Special Karma. Because Special Karma was just, the most Special Karma you Special Pump you won. That was just that line. And about VTP, the problem with this game is that power creep is like kicking in really fast. So even if you pay for the units, there is no guarantee that they won't be useless the next week prior. That happens so many times that I even lost count. And about bosses, most of the bosses are power creeped even before the release, unless they are really cancelled. But even then, I can't remember any boss that was an ultimate cancel for the last year, which was like, in everyone's deck. I think last game-breaking boss was the original Bone Slug, because it was that OP, and since that event, we never got anything that much game-broken. That's the problem. That SNK can't into balance. And because of that, most of the VTPs drop in the game really quickly. Just look how desperate all of the high-end guilds for the new fresh blood, because there is not that much new players here around. as Titanium, how much players, paying players, keep in mind, are actually dropping the game in a month or 2 or 3 from the Reverse Night games. I guess he knows that. This is just so my monster. Like, when you think about this, it's just so crazy how the game actually was so good at the start, because I was playing since 2016, and I saw how the game was evolving, how actual rebalancing was happening. I remember our original Iron Nekana being trash along with Mars Mecha, and then they got to be overpowered, and so overpowered that Death actually had to nerf Nekana 3 times. And even then it was really strong. And if you ask any veteran which is still playing the game or around the community, which is not that much of people, I don't think that there are much veterans left in the game. They will say how the game was actually really interesting and cool. I would disagree on that because best, you know, all of us are playing Metal Slug defense. All of us. And when you look at the Metal Slug defense and at the Metal Slug attack and their balancing, you will see the actual difference. I mean, aside of some different balancing sometimes for the units, like unnecessary nerf of the Nekana Mark II or the buff for the Benimaru, they were actually doing a very great job at balancing. And no matter the power creep, a lot of owned units were actually really useful. I mean, I know that the last meta was Benimaru plus 9 bosses, but if you go outside of it, if you try to have some fun, you could actually understand that Nekana, before it was nerfed, was actually really useful. It was like all around weaker and even was able to give a punch to the Augenstern PM, which was considered cancelled. Just think about it. A unit from 1.2 update, which was more than 2 years ago, was kicking in before it was nerfed. You just realize that Morden, which was in the game from the very beginning, was one of the best bosses, because he was still pretty much tanky. For his role, he was actually supporting a lot, and he had insanely fast prod time. Then you think, you know, about other bosses. I mean, you think about Leona. I know that Leona was buffed in 1.9 update, but if you think about her, she is actually really useful, even up to the last updates. Also, Zion Bang, would you kindly to watch your language, please? We're trying to have some nice and easy conversation here. Anyway, back to the topic. I mean, if you look at the balancing and the balancing defense and compare it to the balancing to the balancing attack, which would you prefer? Also, keep in mind that balancing in Metal Slug attack actually forces the game to go faster and faster and faster. Just try to find some videos from 2016, 2017 and look at their speed, how long the fights were going on. And keep in mind that this pace actually was up until the Animal race. Keep in mind that the developers actually were able to keep bosses great enough to make a late game actually matter. And now look at the current gameplay. I doubt that you would be able to keep a match longer than 1 minute. If you are not running Ravens or if you are not fighting against Telemikes. And only because Telemikes will stun you with Immortal Matilda. That's not okay. You know? Also, another free-to-play game I could actually put a reason, like an argument against this World of Tanks. Blitz version, mobile version. I know that this is not an okay example, but you are not limited to the most of the stuff. You know, if you're just playing without paying anything, you will get most of the content. And you know, it's grindy, yes, it's grindy, I'm not going to say otherwise, but they are giving you a lot of stuff for free. They're giving you premium time for free. They are giving you a lot of stuff which actually makes your life much easier here. And the game is still kicking. I haven't played COD Mobile, it's a shooter, so it's different. See? Now when you're talking about games like Metal Snap, Attack, I mean, you need to keep in mind that this is a strategy game in the first place. This is a game about your base development, about your units development, and how you are using them. but you also, must start again. Keep in mind that balancing attack is a strategy, so it needs to be treated as a strategy. So, for example, World of Tanks is sort of strategy gun game, sorta, and it pays a lot for your strategy gun minding. But the closest example is the Button Cats. But the biggest difference between Button Cats and Button's Not Attack are the fact that Button Cats does not actually have PvP. And once you don't have any player versus player interaction, you might not care about balancing at all, because it doesn't matter. Because you could just get all the units you want, it won't affect anyone, you just have the full freedom. But in Button's Not Attack, you're interacting with a lot of players. I mean, just going online, go in Battle Arena, Battle Mode, Team Battle Mode, on Snatch Wars, you know? All of those had a player's deck actually interacted with the players. And once you are interacting with them, someone has to move. And no one likes moving, you know? So you need to keep balancing things so both sides would have pretty much the same win rate, you know? That's why I actually put them on the same blades, because they actually rebalancing a lot of weapons in order to keep them closer to the perfect win rate, which is 49%. No, 49.5 actually. So you will win out of 100 battles, you will win like 49 battles, you will lose 49 battles, and you will have a couple of draws. That's the perfect balance. And most of the games actually trying to achieve this by action balances and stuff. And I mean, just look at the Modern Warfare difference at its early days, at its later days, Modern Warfare at the early days as well. You wasn't able to win a lot unless you put all of your skill in the game. And it still depended on your luck unless you need someone who learns the game too. And then it was a tie. It was who assembled the better deck and who exploited the enemy's mistakes and weaknesses better. I mean, we were playing against Fabricio once back in 2016 or like end in 2017, and I was able to win, but we had like 4 minutes match, and we knew how we were playing, so we tried to counter each other, and it was really interesting to watch, really interesting to anticipate the actions, like to find the openings, find the ways to actually counter your opponent. And now it's that, you know, yeah, you could still actually, if you go deep into the game, even now, you could actually find some interesting stuff, how to counter your opponents, but it doesn't matter anymore, because anyone who pays a lot for the game just gets his units in plot frame, assembles the most OP deck, and just rushing everything, you know? I mean, just if you think about this, about exploiting the mechanics of the game, just think about new Shizuka subjugation tactics and her counter, which actually aims at the unit who attacked her. So you could use this to kill the enemy base, like if he's using Zoni Dolma or Nantes or Beatrice. But if you're a smart guy, you could actually bait her with units like Rimhild, so her counters would not be attacking your backlines. Or you could go even further, get your own Shizuka, and use some units like Nantes and Zoni, get them out of base and use their special to make her evade several times. Get your Shizuka under the crossfire and then make her counter enemy Shizuka, so you would have hard chances to kill the enemy base. And when you start to actually realize how much interaction between the units, how much indirect counters there are which you could implement into the game, this is getting really interesting. But then again, we have units like Rome, who are so boring and so lame in usage that there is no actually direct counter except the fact that you probably have a chance to nuke him down right after the special, and there is no other window in which you could hurt him. He's just that lame. He's so uninspiring to fight against and to be used by other players. He's just, get him into position and spam the attack button. Same about Yandao, by the way. And same about batteries, but even batteries has more viability than Yandao, for example, because there is a major difference between her special and her regular range attack. You actually want to keep her using her long range in some instances, unlike her, instead of her special, etc, etc. I mean, this is just dumb that sometimes home units like this are existing, that some such different units are existing in the game. Like, just compare Drone and Creamhead, and compare the tactics which you could utilize with them. Same with like Shizuka and the same Drone. With Drone you just rush into the front line and use special, and with Shizuka you could actually do at least 4 tactics, different tactics with her. And this is the main difference why I don't really like the game. The game does not actually reward you for using your brain. Anyway, any more questions? I mean, I think I would be able to answer on a couple of more of them. Also, hello Verzimo. I'm surprised that you have shown up. Honestly, about Shizuka, I am actually amazed how different her sprites, concept art and her in-game illustration. Because her illustration and her sprites are different. Like those are 2 different people. Or at least one of them are trying to pose like the other. This is just... What are they thinking? And no, I mean, I guess you're asking about me drinking alcohol. No, I tried alcohol, even here in Czechia, and I don't like it. I think the closest thing to the alcohol which I'm drinking is usually non-alcohol glass, which is like... Just think of non-alcohol beer but with specific taste. It's really interesting, but you need to find the right one. I never ever heard about snow broth, sorry Zima. Hero Storm, you could have asked me if I'm using Tide Pods, because it's the same. Can't do it. Oh man, this is actually so fun. That's a nice emote. Actually, beer is of course, considered as an alcoholic drink, but it is so wildly popular that it's cheaper than cola, for example. And like if you go somewhere, you will have higher chance to get a beer instead of water. It's just that popular. But of course, if you're not 18 years old, no one will sell it to you. Yeah. Well, some of the alcohol are sort of like juice, like the burchak. That's, how to say it? God damn it, I forgot how it's in English again. Yeah, it's basically a grape juice, which is going to be a wine, but it's like in between. It's not a grape juice anymore, but it's not wine yet, but it's an alcohol already. Castles in my place, actually plenty of them, because there is Vyšehrad, there is, of course, damn it. I forgot how it's called, damn it. Then is Malá Strana, there are a couple of castles around the Prague. At the place where I'm usually going at summer and winter with my parents, there is the castle Krakonosh. So yeah, there's plenty of castles. Anyway, any more questions, guys? Well, see about castles that Czech Republic is actually in such position where we're a lot of wars. So those castles were actually needed, like a fortress, on the border with Germany, on the border with Poland, with and you know, it's like it was like a borderline. No, we actually, well, depends on the castle we are talking about. Sometimes it's an old castle, like a real castle. Sometimes it's a new one, like a Renaissance too, you know. Actually, I answered on this question like already in Hydrostorm, but I will answer it once again. I'm actually planning on doing some streams, on doing some podcasts like this one, but actually maybe discussing some stuff, some news from the world or game industry or etc, and maybe talking with you with a voice chat, not just answering on your text. You know, and I'm thinking about streaming some games and maybe doing some different games. More MS related stuff. Maybe I will do some MS related stuff, couple of videos, but not much. Maybe I will do some Metal Slug games related stuff, but not sure about it. And maybe I will really come back to when new Metal Slug will be released for PC, because I actually think it will be not in the 2020, like it's going to be for PlayStation 4, you know, and their own console, but I think it will be released in like 2021 or 2022. So if I will not be dead by that time, I might actually come back for it. You know. it's going. Well, anyway, I'm afraid I'm not really going. I'm afraid I'm not able to speak anymore. Like I don't have my throat is actually oscillating from talking for 2 hours straight. Good luck for the new Halo, at least it's released. Going to be fun, I guess. Anyway, thanks for everyone of you who came to watch this podcast. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that I answered on most of your questions which you wanted to hear the answers. And see you guys next week. Morden out.